Hey everyone, and welcome to the Ohayocon 2020 retrospective. Just to look back at my experience at conventions. Uh, at this point, I have the format broken down into three areas. The day-by-day breakdown. What did I do? What did I see? Blah, blah, blah. The conventional treasures, basically the things that I got from the convention, such as pictures, vendor items, autographs, stuff of that nature. And then, of course, because I'm wise and such, I do have some personal revelations, the final area. Basically just looking at, what I did at the convention, what things can I do better for the future, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. And obviously these videos take a little while, so let's just hop into this really fast. Day by day. Alright, so starting with Friday, because that is the first day I usually get to conventions. I arrived at about noon, 11 something-ish. And I was walking towards registration, because obviously you have to do that to get your badge and, all that stuff so that you can explore the convention fully. When I came across my first obstacle, the very, very long line. Now, for those of you who have been to Ohayocon, the registration thing is on the second floor area now that leads down that long hallway towards the vendor's hall now. And basically it went from that one set of, conference meeting rooms, it started there, stretched across the hall, all the way past that bagel place, which I forget the name of, pretty much towards, towards the second floor bar of the, it's the Regency, I think? But anyway, yeah, so that was a long line. Luckily for me, I've worked retail and I've gained patience. Lots and lots and lots of patience over the years. Ooh. But yeah, so, I hopped in line, I waited, talked to some people. One of the interesting things was this dude who had won one of the video game tournaments from last year had an extra badge because, he won one and he'd registered for, pre-registered for the convention or whatever, so he was trying to sell one off so he could get through the thing. I was like, nah, I'll just wait in line because it looked legit, but I'm also leery of, hey, nice thing. And he was going to sell it for $50 as opposed to the 70 at the door. Anyway, it wasn't that big an issue because within about 5 to 10 minutes, one of the staffers announced, that the long line is for the pre-registration, whereas they have a second line for people who are, paying cash to register at the convention. Which was what I was doing, which is what a bunch of other people were doing. So I got in and out probably within 5 to 10 minutes. So, yay for me. And, really quick, I don't want to knock pre-registration. It is a good thing. It's helpful for you. It's helpful for the convention. It can be cheaper. There are a whole lot of pluses to it. And I would like to talk about that stuff, but I obviously have a lot to cover, so we'll just skip that. However, I can talk about that in the future for other people who may be curious about it. Because I may have more convention-related videos in the future. I've been mulling that over a bit. I have to look at my notes, because I've totally just skipped around. Oh, and one of the other big things I want to say about the long pre-registration line is, honestly, this is the first time that I've seen it get so long, and such. So, hopefully next year they are better able to address it so that it's more streamlined and people can get in and out faster. But obviously, there are just some elements that you can't control for that. So, don't hold it against, I'm not holding it against Ohayocon for that. I'm just stating it for the record for historical recording purposes, blah, blah, blah. Most of the rest of Friday was honestly me just, drifting around, checking out the vendor's hall a couple of times, hitting up some of the photo shoots, which I will talk about in a bit. And just, yeah, just having fun seeing all the cool things. And another funny element of my convention story was my parking and hotel situation. Basically, these two things were quite a bit of distance apart. And quickly, if I can pull down a map. So here we have the map. As you can see, I started at the Goodale Garage and had to make my way to the Crown Plaza Hotel. So basically, past the vendor's hall, past registration, and through the sky tunnel, down an escalator. Yeah, it was a long trip. So yeah, it was basically just a really long walk from that Good Ale Garage to the Crown Plaza Hotel. And then, and carrying 2 bags like this size. And I have the 2 bags because the ones for like the extra clothing stuff, your socks, your undergarments, your deodorant, hygiene stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And again, at every convention, it's important that you guys, bring some hygiene stuff. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you brush your teeth, that, you've washed yourself, you cleaned yourself up, because nobody wants to be all sticky and sweaty and hot at a convention. And especially, if you're wearing a whole lot of different costumes, or if you're wearing, like, very warm, heavy clothing. Like, have that stuff, because taking a nice, hot shower after a long day of being in, like, a fursuit or something can be nice. Not quite there yet, but we'll see in the future where I'm at. But yeah, and one of the other things that I just kick myself for every freaking year is I always say before the convention, man, like, for the month before the convention, I'm going to work out. I'm going to, mainly focus on, like, strength stuff so I can carry my bags, because obviously holding a bag and walking long distance, it wears on your muscles, as well as stamina, so that I can, cover the distance from, Good Ale Garage to Crown Plaza Hotel. Whew. Anyway, after all of that, toward the end of the evening, I had the Doctor Who shoot. I got to meet up with some of my friends. Margaret, who's run most of the Doctor Who shoots that I have been at, and, is the big person behind Tsukiyama-sama Photography, which I'll put, quick name drop right there. You're welcome, Margaret. Free press on a very small YouTube channel. You're welcome. But one of the cool things was I got to meet up with my buddy Mark, who is another Doctor Who cosplayer. Last time I had seen him, he was cosplaying the 4th Doctor. This was 2 years ago, so I was cosplaying as the 1st, I believe. Oh, or maybe it was last year and I was cosplaying the 2nd. I don't know. But he also cosplays, Lebowski, the dude from The Big Lebowski. And it was just great seeing him. I didn't recognize him. He didn't figure out that it was me cosplaying as a different classic era Doctor. But eventually, we figured that stuff out. And honestly, the coolest thing for me was, the fact that he had a guitar for, 12th Doctor Capaldi, because it's infamous, or famous, I'm not sure which. And he even had like a little, little amp attached to his hip. So he could play music, and he knows how to play guitar, actually, and he's just so cool, and it was awesome seeing you, dude, and just, and that wraps up Friday. Moving on to Saturday, that was my big day to, that's pretty much the big day for me. Getting a whole lot of photo shoots in, hitting the vendor's hall, and potentially getting some things, which this year, I got a couple things, and again, I'm going to talk about that during the conventional treasures portion of the video. One of the cool, interesting things that happened was at the Fairytale Shoot. At about, I think it was noon. I'm just there in my Sanji Water 7 Ainz Lobby outfit. Dress pants, orange dress shirt, vest, picture. I just was not wearing, the Sanji wig and having the cigarette. And I didn't have a curly eyebrow. But this excited Lucy cosplayer comes up to me and like, oh my gosh, are you into One Piece? I noticed your chopper bag and, blah, blah, blah. And, I told her that I was, and we got to talking a bit about One Piece and stuff like that, and I walked around with her a bit after the Fairytale Shoot, because she was supposed to meet up with her friends for the Final Fantasy shoot. And, I was, Final Fantasy was one of my potential photo shoots to attend, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the photo shoot. Sorry, whatever the other thing was, but I'm gonna go to the Final Fantasy shoot now, for obvious reasons. But also, I've talked about cosplaying as Sid from Final Fantasy VII or Zell from Final Fantasy VIII. But basically, the breakdown of that is, it's okay to wear your fandom stuff on your sleeve. Like, Chopper can help you get attention if you are into One Piece, or your Fairytale bag, or your Dragon Ball shirt, or your whatever. And I talk a bit more about that in Personal Revelations. But anyway, and also really quick, I do plan on playing Final Fantasy 15 at some point. Because, it does look fun and interesting, and also, I wasn't as well versed, and yeah, that could help me. I've learned in the past, definitely be more well versed in your fandom stuff. I still remember that Vulpix cosplayer. Dan B. Miller, if you see this, you remember too, probably. I never forgot, and I'm still kicking myself over that. Moving on. Moving more towards the evening after all the photo shoots and stuff. I attended part of Jessica Calvello's panel. She's a voice actress who voices Zoe Hang, however you say that, in Attack on Titan. She's in the panel, she was kind of hyper crazy, but, good, hyper fun, crazy type person. So she sounds awesome. I'm not as familiar with her work, but if I find a couple characters that she did that I like, I certainly would not mind getting her autograph for that. But one of the other cool things that I learned in doing quick research on her was that she's also worked with Team 4-Star, the group behind Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, and I want to say a couple other things. Oh, Machina Abridged, the Final Fantasy VII, parody thing. But, she worked with them. She voiced Rip Van Winkle in Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. I think it's episode 4, which is the only appearance of that character. Maybe a brief cameo in the 10th episode, I forget. But, I just like that because it's cool to me hearing about, a legit voice actor working with, obviously a big name on YouTube. But, just that cross-platform stuff of, voice acting, for Funimation, blah, 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 whatever things, as well as, YouTube. Those two media entities seem to clash at times. But it's cool seeing, groups come together. I think I was clear on that. I hope you get what I'm saying. Moving onward from there, I went to Lisa Ortiz's Cabaret panel, and holy cow, she was amazing. She's fun and interesting, like Jessica Calvello, and she has an amazing singing voice. And, I noted this because it's very, very important. She mentioned being single, and as some of you may know, I'm also available, so, Lisa. If you see this, hey, feel free to give me them digits, or, the Facebook URL, whatever the kids are doing these days. Sorry. I'm kidding, of course. She's way too cool for me. And also, really quick, just another funny thing, mentioning Jessica from before. She actually had Jessica Calvello come in and sing a song, as a guest for the panel, because they're friends, and, it was just fun craziness. And, basically, just imagine, I'm not trying to make fun of Jessica's height, but, a shorter lady in a unicorn kigurumi, onesie kind of thing, just dance, just jumping side to side, just singing about ballsack. Yes, that's how she described wearing a onesie kigurumi thing, was it felt like. I'm gonna move on. I should do that, but what do we know Lisa Ortiz from? The big thing that she mentioned was voicing Amy Rose in Sonic X. And really quick, she said that. It's not me being stupid and going, oh, this is the only thing I could quickly name off that people will definitely recognize, so don't get mad at me for that. So now I know two more awesome people to get autographs from, Jessica Calvello and Lisa Ortiz. And also, again, maybe them digits. No, okay, fine. That joke's dead. Which really quick makes me remember, I forgot to take into account planning to get autographs, because we also had Aaron D. Smuke, and I think Stephen Bloom was here as well. Aaron voiced Alphonse in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I presume the original also. I'm not 100% on that. And Stephen Bloom has voiced Spike from Cowboy Bebop. But yeah, and then really quick, Sunday, is honestly usually just a casual day for me, like leaving sometime in the morning, getting back up here to, near the lake where it's snowy now, and it makes me mad. Timestamp. But I did get some last minute props from the vendors hall, as well as some pictures from, a quick photo shoot that they had for Pokemon at 11 a.m., which was nice for me because I kind of missed out on some of the Pokemon shoot for Friday night because I was at Doctor Who, and then I just left the Saturday Pokemon shoot again a bit early because I talk about that later in Personal Revelations. But it was a good day. I got to get those last minute things. I got to make my goodbyes to Ryan specifically at the very least, because Ryan and Corey were the ones who had a room that they were willing to share with me because I needed a room because I'm not good at this convention attending thing where, hey, I have a room lined up already. Because, juggling a whole lot of stuff. So luckily I have good friends. And, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Corey, for allowing me to stay in your room. We've obviously roomed together in the past, and I've shown that I'm not a jerk, so, we obviously have the good history, but I still have to thank you guys every time, because, it's polite. So, other people, thank your room guest hosts, and also, thank the cleaning staff who have to clean up after us. Try and make things look nice and neat, and not be jerks. Please. It's a privilege to be at these conventions and at these hotels. Do not, make us look bad by being messy jerk faces. Like washing your hair that you dyed with Party City hairspray stuff, and it stains the pillow, and a rag, and it looks bad, and... Sorry, sidetrack. But yeah, so that wraps up the day-to-day stuff. Moving over to the wall, let's talk about the conventional treasures. The things that I got from the convention. The pictures, the items, the autographs, the whatever else is that I have to speak to you about. So, whoosh. Really quick to start this year. I want to say I broke a record for personal, amount of pictures that I got. 250 plus pictures. Yeah, that's crazy. Part of that was because, different convention floor shots. I basically ran into people and I was like, oh my god, I like your cosplay. I gotta get a picture of that. Click. But also, I attended a good number of photo shoots. So, really quick, where did I get my shots from? At least the photo shoot wise. Convention floor shots are just pretty much random. So, it can be anything from Pokemon, My Hero Academia, One Piece, just anything. But with photo shoots, I can at least narrow it down a bit. So, what did I get pictures from? First off, Doctor Who, the Friday and Saturday shoots. The Friday shoot, I was there as the third Doctor, Jonathan Pertwee. Saturday, I couldn't be there because I had the Pokemon shoot going on. So I did go to that, but I did ultimately come back to the Doctor Who shoot because, and I'll talk about this in a bit. But basically, the Pokemon shoot has gotten so large. It's a bit daunting for me personally. It's kind of hard to really effectively get pictures, at least for this shoot. But again, I'll talk about that in a bit. The next thing that I have, trying to read my notes behind you, by the way. The next thing, obviously, I got some pictures from the Pokemon shoot, but like I said, with that, I did leave early, so I don't have a whole lot. Next up, we have, of course, one of the other big reasons that I attend Ohayocon, the One Piece Photoshoots. We had a good, decent turnout, a good variety of characters. Some people showed up late, unfortunately. Some other characters I saw throughout the convention weekend, but not at the photo shoot, which is unfortunate, but I get it. We did run into a few people from the One Piece Ohayocons group, which was cool. Some other people weren't there, and I want to touch on that, but again, that's more for personal revelations and stuff later on. We also had the Fairytale Shoot. I do cosplay Gajiel sometimes. Unfortunately, not this time because I didn't have all my stuff together, and usually I coordinate with my friends, God, friggin' Amber and Ashley, because they both cosplay Levy. And if you don't follow the series, they ship Gajeel and Levy because they do seem to have something going on. And I think probably by the end of the series, it's like actually officially a thing. But yeah, so I got a good number of pictures from there, and I also met a really cool Lucy cosplayer who was into One Piece. And yeah, I think I already talked about that. So I don't have much more to say on that. But next up after that was the Final Fantasy shoot. Basically, my exposure to Final Fantasy was Final Fantasies 7 through 10, a little bit of 13, and I also started 6, but I got sidetracked and I haven't gone back to it yet, unfortunately. And if I recall, 6 is like one of the big, best, favorited Final Fantasy games, so I do have to go back and play that at some point. I also have to go and play Final Fantasy 15 at some point as well, because, reasons. Not getting into that, but, I have my reasons after this weekend to go. I'm going to go play Final Fantasy 15. Punk photo shoot, which was Friday afternoon. Basically, again, a good number of people showed up for it. From what I recall, we had a couple of... we had one mad scientist dude. We had another guy with an epic friggin' just like... I'm just going to show a picture of the guy with, the cowboy hat and the really big gun and the speaker. It was great, and I love that guy. I swear I've seen him a couple times before, and he's just awesome and amazing. And then we also had the Disney photo shoot. I don't have a Disney character yet. I've had some ideas. I might have something in the future. I might just go for the pictures because really, Disney seems to be, what's the big Disney property of the time, for the most part. There were some creative things, like the hipster version of some classic Disney characters, such as Snow White, Ariel, Aladdin, and I believe Peter Pan. I didn't get pictures of Peter Pan and Aladdin because they weren't part of the photo shoot, but I did at least get Ariel and Snow White, which I believe I have, so poop. Now on to the actual items, the things that I got in the dealer's hall. Because the dealer's hall is big for me personally, because that's honestly one of the few times where I do get interesting, nerdy accessories. Because, ordinarily I'm doing the normal thing, trying to pass for normal. But occasionally, I'm inspired and I check out the internet for cool things like, oh man, I need a Doctor Who wallet, or I want to get this, One Piece, necklace or wall scroll or something like that. Well, I don't usually do that, so I save that usually for conventions, and I do find some cool things. Like, for instance, my little, bracelet that I've been fussing with. This is basically, just a quick little dragon skin bracelet thing. It's obviously leather, not real dragon, because I care about dragons. And I want my steampunk character to, not necessarily hunt dragons, but have dragons. And Valerian would definitely not appreciate me hunting dragons. So we'll say, it's just, hey, they shed like cats. I know, it's weird, interesting, whatever, go with it. Next up, we have another cool accessory of mine, the cane. Again, this felt like a good little steampunk thing that I wanted to go with. And also, as a good kind of convention-friendly, I'm going to put quotes around that, prop, because I do have a staff as well, but I wanted something a bit nicer, that isn't as potentially harmful, because the thing's about as tall as I am. Actually, it's out in the hall. I'm used to it being right here. But, so I wanted to get something else. And also, this feels like a nice, gentleman's, prop. And when I quickly looked up steampunk detective, I saw a detective with, like, a cane and a pistol. Which actually sets me up for... oh my god, my favorite little item from the weekend. This bad boy. Now, the thing that I love about this, besides it looks like a cool, kind of steampunk, you know, maybe cyberpunk pistol, is the fact that it's very convention friendly. As you can see, I'm squeezing the trigger. That's plastic. It is not an actual trigger device. So, you know, you can take this to conventions and not have the concern of, oh my god, you know, that's an airsoft rifle. That's a whatever, you know, kind of shooting thing. Because it doesn't shoot at all. Unfortunately, you know, that means you don't have the realism of like, oh hey, like I have a pistol. But, you know, it works for my purposes. Unfortunately, I do not have like a business card from that vendor table. They were in the back corner, right across from the convention tables. I know that's not a lot of information to go on. I will try and figure that out, and I will hopefully have something, you know, either in this video or at the end or something. But I love this little pistol thing. It's cool. It works for my steampunk character, I feel like. You know, and regardless, it's just a cool little accessory. Makes me feel like a cool guy. So, we have two cool things. Next up, we have this wall scroll. Obviously, it's unfurled. Obviously, it's wrapped up, whatever. This is Sanji of One Piece, and I will have a picture of it, you know, up on my wall like I did the Brook picture that I did, honest to God, last year, and I did not intend this at all. But, you know, I got Sanji because I do cosplay the character. I had all of my Sanji stuff this weekend. I put on the Ainz Lobby Water 7 version of Sanji, which I can put a picture of here. You know, but I didn't put on my fire leg warmers because, honestly, I was just wearing it casually. And I forgot to wear the wig and put the cigarette in my mouth because I'm forgetful. And I have some thoughts about, you know, my future with Sanji and Brook for, you know, conventions and stuff. And hopefully I remember to put that in the personal revelations part of this video. But yeah, you know, I got this, so he can be another of the characters that goes up on the wall. Eventually I'm hoping to get Zoro, probably Usopp, and then I can branch out finally to other series, like Gajeel from Fairytale. I don't know where else I would go, but just those things. Very last thing on my list. Two very cool plushes that I really hope I didn't just get in the shot. Everyone say hello to Baby Geodude. No joke. 20 bucks from one of the vendors in the vendor hall. This is very cool. I loved it because I do cosplay Brock, as previously stated. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. I love this. It's just so convenient and nice. It's very soft felt. Like, and it has a little hooky thing. Really shouldn't have pulled that forward with my other hand, so I hung him off of my badge for the most part, and, you know, just walked around, and, you know, wherever, you know, I'd pass people by. Sometimes I'd be carrying him in my hand, too, so I'd be like, you know, ooh, ooh, dude, yep, dude. Like, honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of having Geodude, is just, you know, having those little interactions. But I also got another little plush that you probably already saw, but I'm going to do the dramatic reveal anyway. So, ta-da! Vulpix. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with classic Pokemon, Brock did actually get a Vulpix at one point. I forget where from exactly. I forget the trainer's name, but basically, you know, Brock's original intention was to become a Pokemon breeder. And he was gifted the Vulpix by, you know, a famous breeder and told, you know, and she told him, hey, you know, take care of Vulpix. You know, make her, you know, grow her up and make her look nice and all that. And I'm not sure what really came of that, but she is definitely one of Brock's prominent Pokemon besides, you know, Onix and Geodude, which I still have yet to figure out how to make a good Onix. Oh, I made one that was small, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe somebody will have a prop that I can buy. Because, like with Geodude, like with some other things that I've done, I want to make the attempt of making the item before I, you know, purchase one. So I at least have that small badge of honor. Because I'm a crafter at heart. So, that is it for all the little cool... I'm going to put you down, Vulpix, really quick. Sorry. So that is it for all of the conventional treasures that I got. you know, the cool pictures, the awesome items. You know, now, let's move on to, you know, the final part of the video, the personal revelations, the things that, you know, I thought about and realized after the convention. Finally, we have the personal revelations. You know, those thoughts that are personal to me that come up after the convention. You know, what did I do that worked? What did I do that didn't work? What did I notice in general? You know, and what about the future of cosplay conventions for me personally? Well, there are a couple things that I want to talk about. First off, it's okay to wear your fandom on your sleeve. You know, I got this Chopper backpack at Marathon a couple of years ago. It was, I want to say, $30 or so. And, you know, I've carried him with me off and on since that convention because, you know, I like Chopper, and having a nice little backpack thing is cool. It's also just another nice little accessory to carry with me. Like, at that convention, I was dressed as Sanji, and there was this kid who was just so excited and just wanted to get a picture with me. And I had my little Chopper bag, and I was like, hey, dude, you want to hold Chopper? Like, this 10-year-old kid or so. And it was really cool. And I talk about this now because Chopper is the reason, you know, that I made a friend at the Fairytale Shoot, the Lucy cosplayer, you know, who saw my Chopper bag and was like, oh my gosh, you're into One Piece, aren't you? I want to talk to you about One Piece and stuff. And we did a bit. You know, now we're Facebook friends, and, you know, we'll see where things go from there. You know, she did talk about potentially cosplaying from One Piece in the future, and honestly, you know, she was like, I don't want to gender bend a character, so I was like, Nami's always a good starting point. You know, I think Nami's cool. Not as cool as Robin, in my opinion, but, you know, hey, just saying. Nami's a good starting character for cosplay in the One Piece fandom for female characters. You know, but, it's okay to wear the fandom on your sleeve. You know, people might notice it. They might come up to you. They might want to, you know, they might want to talk to you. It's a good conversation starter sometimes. So, Chopper, thank you for introducing me to another cool person, you know, who might join us for cosplaying stuff in the future, which is awesome. So, there's that. In relation to Pokemon, you know, I talked about how I do cosplay Brock. I also talked about how it was a bit large and overwhelming at this convention this year. You know, the Pokemon fandom usually is. You know, and it's starting to make me wonder about, you know, my place within the cosplay fandom for Pokemon. You know, I'm not really up on the current generation of Pokemon, which is, what, 7, 8? I don't know. Whatever Pokemon Sword and Shield is / was. You know, I do Brock from the very beginning because, number one, I like the character, and number two, like with a lot of my characters, he's kind of a supporting player that I really like and, you know, would love to get more exposure for. And I do occasionally see more Brocks, and I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that. You know, but I've also talked about, hey, I wouldn't mind finding my Spirit Water type Pokemon that I would love to cosplay as. You know, I've been leaning towards Poliwhirl, Poliwrath because the water fighting type. You know, water because the kidney stone thing that I always bring up, you know, because it's important. You guys gotta stay hydrated. You don't want to have that issue. It sucks. Trust me. You know, and fighting because, well, I like fighting. Go figure. So, you know, I gotta think, you know, where do I fall in the Pokemon fandom? Do I want to keep cosplaying Brock and, you know, do that? Or do I move on to something else? You know, and I'm honestly not sure at this point. Like I'm thinking about with another thing that I will talk about later on, I may have a winter cosplay and a summer cosplay. Which, you know, is a cool, interesting thing. It gives me some variety, and I like that idea. But we have other important revelations to talk about. So, Geodude, I'm going to set you back down, buddy. But, yeah. What do we have next? In relation to my Sanji wall scroll. I really should have grabbed my One Piece flag for this. But, you know, the big reason I got into cosplaying seriously at Ohayocon, at ColossCon, and sometimes MatsuriCon is because of the One Piece Ohayocons group that my buddy John Moore founded. You know, he brought us all together because we cosplayed One Piece characters. You know, that was some years ago. I want to say 4 or 5, I forget. But since then, you know, people have drifted away. You know, they've gone to other fandoms. Like I know John and some of the other people were doing Dragon Quest. I know John and I have done some Smash Brothers cosplay. He did an excellent WarioWare Wario. And, you know, I did a biker version of Waluigi because apparently there isn't a canonical Waluigi for WarioWare, which is weird, guys. Like, Nintendo, get on that, please. But, you know, this year we didn't have a whole lot of other One Piece Ohayocon cosplayers, which, you know, kind of stinks, but I get it. You know, I'm definitely feeling it myself. Like, I would like to see an end to One Piece at one point. I do love the story. It's cool. It's interesting. But it's just been going on so long. And, you know, it would just be good to see where things end up finally. I will still keep cosplaying, you know, Brook and Sanji. But like I just said with the Pokemon thing, I might have a winter and a summer cosplay. The winter is going to be Brook. Because, you know, it's a nice, oh hey, it's cold outside, dude. I'm wearing flower pants, I'm wearing a skeleton shirt, I'm wearing a jacket, I'm wearing a freaking wig and a skull mask that makes my head sweat so much that I can barely see and function. You know, that works for winter. In the summer, not so much. In the summer, I'm probably going to be leaning towards Sanji. Specifically, I know it's post time skip. I'll put a picture of the thing that I've done before in the past. But yeah, you know, a winter and a summer cosplay. Again, it'll give me some variety. It'll make me more interesting and engaging. And I like that. You know, and really quick for my One Piece Ohayocon friends, if you guys do watch this, you know, I 100% get, hey, I want to do different things. You know, and it is cool seeing you guys, at least in the hallways, or seeing all the cool pictures that I get with you guys. And honestly, if you ever need another person to cosplay a random character from your series, let me know. I would love to join you guys. You know, if I'm not into the fandom, unfortunately, I may have to decline, but, you know, I want to say thank you, John, for forming the group, bringing us all together. Because, you know, we made some good friendships. You know, Ryan, Jordan, you, Kevin, like, you guys are good, and I'm glad that I got to meet you guys and bond with you. And I hope we get to do more things in the future. So, yeah, so there's that. Moving onward from there, lanyards. One of the big thing, and this is a small stupid thing, technically, but I came to the realization that I should probably have my own lanyard thing or some kind of necklace for carrying my camera around. Because it was so helpful having my camera around my neck for easy access for, oh my gosh, there's a cool thing I got a picture of. Rather than, oh crap, I gotta dig into my bag and try and find it. Or, oh crap, you know, freaking, I can't get my wrist thingy on good. Like, so I wore it around the badge this whole time. But as you can see, I have a couple of cool ribbons, which I didn't talk about yet. Basically, I know the 2 Doctor Who are from my Doctor Who shoots. Let's see, the Ohayocon cosplay photo shoots, ads and requests. I forget where I got that from. But the Meow Meow Dragon Cat Leather was because I got the dragon bracelet. So yeah. But, you know, having my camera on a lanyard would be nice. And like I said with Geodude, boom, bringing him back. You know, putting him on the little lanyard thing too was nice. You know, I could put him there so I didn't have to carry him the entire time. So I'm probably going to have a lanyard thing. Again, it's a small detail, but hopefully future Brad remembers this. And if you don't, Brad, I'm going to get pissed. And then, of course, speaking of my camera, I think one of the big things for my future that I've talked about over the last couple of years, and I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but I think I'm probably going to be leaning more towards being kind of a cosplay photographer. You know, I was thinking about it today, and, you know, it has a good parallel with my theater experience. I was both a tech kid, but also a small part actor. You know, cameo character for the most part. You know, I had my feet in both worlds because I'm kind of a jack of all trades, clearly. You know, I do a lot of different things, and that's fine. So, you know, I will have some more basic cosplays, like my Brock, my Sanji, Gajiel technically too, even. You know, like where I pretty much just have to put on an outfit and a wig. You know, maybe do a little bit of makeup stuff. But I also have the freedom to easily be able to move around and see and go, oh, hey, I can get pictures really quick. Or, oh, hey, I can move around like a normal human being. Unlike with Brooke. I'm sorry, buddy, but God. Living skeleton, it's a cool concept. But at the same time, just, ugh. I have my Brooke wall scroll there, in case it's not apparent. So, yeah. So, I will probably be more of a cosplay photographer. I will appear in pictures, you know, as my characters, as need be. But at the same time, I'm kind of taking a step back more towards the photography thing because, you know, I want to help other cosplayers grow and encourage them to do better and make new things and be awesome and be cool people. Because I feel like I personally hit my wall for, like, cosplay growth and innovation, unfortunately. I will keep making new Doctor Who stuff. But, like, any serious crazy stuff, like, oh, hey, makeup learning and, you know, skin color stuff, I don't think is in the cards for me personally. But any knowledge I get, I will pass on to you guys as best I can. And then also leading into, you know, the photography thing, I kind of have something of a small business model, and I'll probably have cards and stuff figured out, hopefully by ColossalCon or MatsuriCon, whichever convention I do end up going to. Basically, you know, I will let people know, like, oh, hey, I will be, you know, at these different shoots, you know, Fairytale, One Piece, Disney, Steampunk, whatever, to get pictures. So if you want to see, you know, whatever pictures that I get, you know, I can give you my business cards, blah, 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 hand them out. I can also do, you know, quick pictures for you, you know, after the photo shoot. Or if you're at a photo shoot that I'm not already planning to go to, you can be like, hey, Brad, you have time at, like, you know, 3 o'clock on Saturday over by the elephant statue for the, you know, Marvel photo shoot, for the My Hero Academia photo shoot, for the Dragon Ball Z photo shoot. You know, I will let you know if I can, and then, you know, I'll show up, I'll get pictures for you. You know, and even after the photo shoot, if there are people like, oh, hey, I want to get a picture with that Vegeta, or I want to get a picture with that insert My Hero Academia character, because I'm not up on the series yet. I plan to, because you know, never mind. It looks fun and interesting, I'll say that, and I have some parallels with the main character, Deku? I hope I said that right. Please don't crucify me for that. But, yeah. So, you know, I can do that too. And, you know, because I'm starting out, I will do the stuff for free, because I don't have stuff for lighting or, you know, good photo editing software. However, if you'd like to make a quick donation, you know, I'm not going to complain. Like, at most, you know, like, I'm going to say $5, because, I mean, oh, hey, I'm getting more pictures. I'm expanding my portfolio. And I'm doing this casually, too. I'm not hardcore like some of the other people that I've worked with, like Margaret. Like, she's a hardcore photographer. She took, you know, classes on photography. She knows her stuff. I'm a dude with a camera who's gotten some good lucky shots that people are like, hey, that's cool. I like that. Thank you. So, yeah. You know, I have some thoughts on the future. It should be good. I just got to get my personal, professional life in order, hopefully, first, and then I can focus back on the fun, you know, the convention scene, the cosplay, the Doctor Who, the video games, the other stuff that make my life interesting. You know, I want to grow the professional thing because I'm trying to find that good long-term job. I have a good job now. I love the benefits. I love all the stuff about it. I'm just not sure I can do it 15, 20, 30 years down the line. And I don't see any, you know, new things coming up for me personally. Probably should have left that in personal revelations, I guess. But yeah, so if you are interested in seeing any of my pictures from the photo shoots, Disney, Fairytale, Final Fantasy, One Piece, Steampunk, Doctor Who, I hope I didn't miss anything. You know, check out my Facebook page. Also check out High Voltage Cosplay Photography, because my buddies Michael and Ryan, you know, put together that Facebook group and Facebook group page, whatever it is, and you know, asked me to join them at one point. And I keep forgetting to put my pictures up there, but I'm hopefully going to do that. I swear, I plan to. Okay. So I think I'm done. So with that said, everyone, you know, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some cool thoughts and ideas from this video. And as always, you know, remember to have fun, stay safe, keep hydrated, and of course remember, every character, every convention, every whatever has a story to tell. I'm Valiant Bradley James, character investigator. Peace.